Vinyl community, I'm back to do a recent vinyl finds video, and this is going to be all jazz. It's been a while since I did a video. I haven't bought that much last couple of months. It's summertime here in Sweden, so we spend a lot of time outside. That's nice. So let's get right into it. First one is a classic, Shape of Jazz to Come by Ornette Coleman. From 1959. This is a 1973 or 74 reissue. I had a fairly recent reissue of this on Rhino Records, I think, from mid 2000s. That sounded okay, but I tend to lean more against the first pressings or early pressings, at least. So a 1974 copy of that is a little bit closer. And by the same seller, I got This Is Our Music from 61, also a 73 reissue. Sounds great, and I mean, you can't complain on the music, can you? Iconic cover also. So I can't say that I buy everything I see with Ornette Coleman, but the earlier stuff, the more classic stuff, is definitely things I pick up if I see them for a good price. And eventually I'll try to trade them against the earlier pressings. So yeah, this was a nice find, and I needed in my Coltrane collection. Ascension Part 1, I think it's called. It's a French first press on Impulse. Great condition, sounds fantastic. So yeah, and this is the bigger band, kind of free jazz with Coltrane. So yeah, high on energy. Speaking of energy, great segue in here. This was a nice pickup. Brötzmann, Van Hove, Benink, and Albert Mangeldorf's. I'll slaughter the title now. It's Cous de la Mauresque, maybe. FMP Records, the sort of to go to German free jazz label, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. FMP number 40. This was released in let's see here, 70. It was recorded in 71, so I guess released 71, 72. This is a second press, and you can see that by the sort of white frame. The first press has orange going all the way out, but I think it's the second press from the same year. It's a live concert from 1971, and it's incredible, especially Han Benning's drumming. I love Han Benning's drumming. He's one of my favorite drummers, period. It's just insane how the man can reinvent himself on every record that I've heard. Okay, so Wayne Shorter. This has been on my want list for so long, and I've never seen a copy. This is not expensive at all, but I've never seen one live, and it's almost too inexpensive to buy online because the shipping costs more than the record. But Moto Grosso Feo, this is a little bit more acoustic kind of set with Chick Corea, John McLaughlin, Ron Carter, Dave Holland, and a guy called Michelin Prel. This is the first press on Blue Note Records, and it's from 1975, 8. See, I have a 72. So yeah, it's a mediocre record, to be honest. I've had it on my want list because I don't collect John McLaughlin records, but yeah, I kind of do, but not anymore. But yeah, so it's been on my want list because of John McLaughlin's guitar playing on it, more than the Wayne Shorter kind of playing. So I found it great price, bought it with the Han Benning record, so and I got it for or just a couple of bucks. Great buy. Okay, so Pharoah Sanders, Black Unity. Let's see here. This is from 1972 originally. This is Impulse reissue from 74. I don't know if you can see the label there. Why, oh why? I hopefully it's the ABC that they ventured into to ABC, that they decided to change the sort of label artwork, because no one has greater labels than Impulse, and this is just shit. Okay, so the music, fantastic music. I'll have to see if I know anyone of the players. Pharoah Sanders, Norman Commoners, Stanley Clarke, Cecil McBee, and Billy Hart on drums, amongst others. But those were the ones that I knew on top of my head. Yeah, great LP. And I mean, Pharoah Sanders, I don't see Pharoah Sanders that often, so I picked this up when I saw it in the store. I couldn't leave it there. Like 20 bucks. He's a remarkable jazz musician. Okay, so moving on to the next one. This is from 1974 originally. This pressing is from 80. Now, I've done a lot of trading and selling the past 2 years maybe. And I have to admit, some of the records that I've traded, especially traded, I regret it that I traded them. But then again, I can't really regret it, because the records that I got in return is fantastic, and I love them. I'm very glad to have them in my collection now. So some of the records, and I'm going to show you two now, are records that I've been looking for again to find, but maybe later pressings or cheaper, or or reissue. And the first one is this one. I mean, I regretted trading this the second I left my house. Stanley Cowell's Musa. This is the best piano record I've ever heard, I think, in my life. It's fantastic. But I traded it with Ashra. I think it was the Ashra Temple trade that I did. I have a first press of that now, and when I look at it, I mean, I'd rather have the Ashra Temple than original pressing of this. So I managed to hunt down a second press from 1980 on Strata East also. Sounds great. I think the first pressing sounded a little bit better, but it's still a really nice reissue from 1980 of, I mean, one of the best piano records I've ever heard. You have to check it out if you haven't heard it. It really swings. It's like a big band record on one piano. Yeah, marvelous. Okay, so Don Rendell Quintet. I've had this for like over a year. I think it's been standing in the listening pile, and I've listened to it many times now. It's a great classic English jazz record. This is the reissue from 2018. It was released in 250 copies. And Don Rendell is famous for playing with Ian Carr in, I guess, the 60s, maybe. Yeah. So, Spacewalk. I don't know if I can tell you any of the Don Rendell, Stan Robbins, Peter Shade. I know no one that plays on this one except for Don Rendell. Great record. Glad I picked it up. I think it's out of print now, so you can't really get it from the label, at least. Have to buy it used. Another one that's been standing in the stack a long time. I've had this for maybe a year. Is this Bitter Funeral Beer by Bengt Berger, Swedish jazz musician, and this is an ECM record. He plays with Don Cherry, and maybe Christer Botén is one that you heard of before. Thomas Mera Gartz, who played with Trägräs och Stenar, you definitely know about. Bosse Skoglund, one of the best drummers in Sweden. I've shown another record with Bengt Berger called Play or something like that. drum and organ piece, maybe. Okay, now I'm on deep water here, but ECM records is a hit and miss for me. I mean, a lot of ECM records is just like elevator music. They don't do it for me, but always great musicians. But when it really takes off, it's fantastic, and this is one of those ECM records that you should listen to and or own, in my opinion, if you collect jazz records. Fantastic sort of world fusion, almost a little bit folky, very Swedish in my opinion, but a nice blend with Don Cherry's kind of Middle Eastern and African rhythms. Check it out, it's great. Okay, so another one to add to the Coltrane collection is this Coltrane Sound. This was issued 1964, but it's the 1975 release. Recorded 1960. I think this was recorded at the same time, or maybe even same sessions as My Favorite Things. It's a great little record that was released afterwards. Yeah. Also one I've had for a while. This is John Zorn's Spillane. I don't know if that's the way to say it, but one of the I think this sold pretty good when it was released, because you see it quite often and it's not that expensive. Or maybe everyone is selling their Spillane Zorn records, so that's why no one likes it. But it's great. And I mean, John Zorn, he has put out so much music, and when I see it and it doesn't cost too much, I pick it up, because John Zorn is a magician living now today. Okay, so a little bit more classic. This is from 1960 originally. This is Outward Bound with Dolphy on Prestige back in the day. Now this is 1984, 82 reissue. Freddie Hubbard, Jackie Bayard, and Roy Haynes on drums. Yeah, I think it's from 1980. Yeah, 82. Classic stuff here. I mean, one of the few records that he released. Dolphy, great. So I told you about the Musa record, the Cowell record, that I instantly regretted when it left the house. This is one that I obviously did, but I traded it with a Psych record, and I wouldn't undo that trade. Then again, I really missed the record. But I managed to find a reissue of this that sounds great. This is the 2019 reissue of L'Estance à Sophie by Art Ensemble of Chicago, featuring Fontella bass. A great record, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit overrated, because Theme the Yo-Yo is obviously the best track on the record. The other ones is still, they are good, they are, but the standout track is the first one, and it's fantastic. So I had an original press of this, and I traded it. Now I have the reissue. Next two, they had I swore that I wouldn't buy the reissues of this, because I have Amir on second press. So I swore that I would try to find as early pressings as I could, but this is like 3 years ago, maybe 4, and they started to just skyrocket in price. I mean, Varesh, this one by Henry Taxier, is $150, $200 record now if you want it in good shape. Even if you find 1, 2, or 3 different pressings of this in the early, spectra. So when Juno Records in England had a sale, and they had this for €13, I actually bought it. So the hunt continues, but I'm glad I because I thought they were out of print, the reissues. So I didn't think that I even could buy and find a reissue of this, but I could, and got them for a great price. So as I said, I'm gonna keep on looking, especially for this one. This is also good, but this is insanely good. It's in a completely different and in his own genre, in my opinion. It's almost like acoustic house music from 1970. No, I don't know, but it's fantastic. Henry Taxier, check it out. Okay, so a lot of you people showed, and I've seen a lot of Facebook showed the Tone Poet series, and there are some of those that I regret not picking up, maybe, but they are kind of expensive for being reissues. I don't buy reissues for that price that often, and I'm not into the collecting like Mo Fidelity records. So when I saw this, I was very anxious to pick the Tone Poet version up, but then I saw that the original press went for just a small amount of what the reissue went for. So I picked that up instead. It's Chick Corea's Now He Sings, Now He Sobs on solid state. There you go, 1968 original pressing in fantastic condition. I think I got this for $7 or maybe $10 or something like that, euro, whatever you want to call it, with a sticker, old sticker here, but except for that, it's in great shape. Sounds terrific. I mean, the Tone Poet may sound better than this, but it's it plays fine. And a really good record, so highly recommended. Tone Poet or not, but you can buy the early pressings for next to nothing compared to it. That's it. Please write comments if you have any, and I'll talk to you soon.